My name is Prakash. My full name is Prakash Balgopal. I belong to India. I belong specifically to a place in Kerala, but I'm settled in Bangalore.
And now you live in?
And now I live in Dubai. Live and work in Dubai.
Okay, thank you.
I was born into a family of 6 children. Uh, right from a very young age, I had this feeling that I would like to seek God. But having been born in a family which had no spiritual background, I had very little scope of bringing out what is inside me to seek God. Around the age of 12, I went on a spiritual journey to one of the holy places in India and seeking God. But then, for a time being, it satisfied me, but I didn't find what I was really looking for. Uh, although I'm born a Hindu, I went seeking God in churches, I went seeking God in other places, but I didn't find God. I was disillusioned. And this carried on till the age of 40. The disillusionment because I totally got frustrated looking for God and not finding the answer. And then until I met my teacher. My spiritual teacher is Grandmaster Prakash. It all happened out of the blue because my wife fell ill. I was at that time working in India and she couldn't be healed by any traditional medicine. So somebody told us that there is this pranic healing that is happening. Why don't you go and try healing her? So I took her there and 2 sessions she was healed totally. A severe physical ailment which couldn't be healed was healed in 2 sessions. This amazed me. So I said, there is something to it. I must learn it. So I went and checked out with the instructor. The instructor said, we also teach. Why don't you come and join the class? So I joined the class. I learned the basics of the healing, which is called pranic healing. And as soon as I learned, started practicing it on people. I found it work. I said, wow, I can heal. So this motivated me. I saw people were being healed, this motivated me to go on to learn the higher advanced class, and it's a psychotherapy, it's called psychotherapy. So I went on to learn all these courses, and something inside me, I was working as an executive in an organization. The moment I finished work, I used to rush back to the place where the healings were taking place, and I would go and heal. I would continue healing till about 10:30 in the night. It gave me great satisfaction. And along with pranic healing, we do a lot of meditation, we do pranayamas, some yoga exercises. So this changed me totally. And then the first thing that happened in my life was the very next year, my teacher, Master Chokrakshi, was coming to town. And I said, wow, I'm going to meet my teacher. So after I met him, my life changed totally. And I went on to do the spiritual course, which is a part of pranic healing. It's called the Arhatic Yoga. It's the spiritual side of pranic healing. So I did the course with my Grandmaster Chokrakshi. And after I did the course, I decided I didn't want to work anymore and work for my teacher. So I quit my job as an executive in India, and I started work. I told my teacher I would like to work for you. He didn't say anything. He probably blessed me. And then lo and behold, I ended up in Dubai, promoting, and I brought pranic healing here. Now, pranic healing, and not only pranic healing, I started teaching the spiritual classes, that's Arahatic Yoga, the one of Arahatic Yoga. So, through me, pranic healing has now spread to the whole, almost the whole of the Middle East. And my aim is to take the spiritual teachings and pranic healing throughout. Now we have gone from Dubai, we are in Oman, we are in Iran, we are in Syria, we are in Jordan, we are in Kuwait, and very soon we will be opening up in Egypt. Bahrain and Qatar we haven't started as yet, so my aim is to take pranic healing and the spiritual science to these two places so that I fulfill the desire I have of taking my master's teaching to these places. My concept of God is God is one, but we call him Allah, we call him whatever. The Hindus especially this, our religion believes that there is a universal supreme being, or we call them the universal Parabrahman. So as far as our belief system is concerned, whether you're a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim, it's all, the God is just one. There's no different gods. There's no Muslim God, there's no Christian God, there's no Hindu God. It's all one. So that has been the belief system because, and the spiritual practice that I took up also teaches the same thing, it's just God.
I don't normally ask about theology or ritual, but I want to make sure I understand enough about what is the spiritual practice of someone following. You said this is
Arhatic Yoga.
How do you spell this?
Arhatic, Arhatic Yoga. Arhatic Yoga means, it's a Pali word. Arhat is a Pali word. Now the word Arhat means of somebody who is soul realized.
Who's what?
Soul realized.
Okay.
So Arhatic Yoga is a yoga which takes you to soul realization. So it comes from the Buddhist term, although the teachings are partly Buddhist, it's partly Hindu also, because it really talks about the eightfold path of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Patanjali is one sage who wrote this book called Yoga Sutra, where he gave a scientific background of how to achieve soul realization through the 8 limbs of yoga. So this same 8 limbs of yoga is followed in Arhatic Yoga. Right from, we call it the Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Asana, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana and Samadhi. So this is a basis of Hindu teaching and this is the base of Buddhist teachings also. So it's a combination of both. So we follow the whole eightfold path in trying to achieve soul realization. So we have character purification, physical purification and emotional purification, which is the most important part of spiritual practice, because without that, there is no spiritual growth. You may try to meditate for 100 years, there is no spiritual growth without purifying yourself emotionally, physically. So that is the core, the crux of the spiritual growth. Without that, you do anything, nothing happens. The experience of doing now, before I met my teacher, one of the pranic healing involved a meditation called heart meditation. So I started doing that. My perception started changing, and I used to look forward to doing it every day. Then, of course, after I did Arhatic Yoga and met my teacher, he gave me what is known as Shakti Path. Shakti Path is spiritual empowerment. So when he gave me the Shakti Path, I met him in February 1996. And in April 1996, I had my first spiritual experience where I was meditating And suddenly I knew something was going to happen. And the room was dark where I was meditating. Suddenly something went up my spine. I had a severe pain in my chest. It went down through the head. And my eyes were closed. The room was dark. I saw the whole universe. So, so it was a fantastic experience. That was my first experience. And after that, whenever I meditated, I saw several saints and sages, including Christ and Mother Mary and all the great saints of India. Probably what I understood was that it was a motivation for you to carry on your spiritual path. So this happened, and subsequently I started practicing, doing a regular erratic practice. Then I realized in one of my practices that I suddenly realized when I probably had an out of body experience, and when I looked on, when I saw, I realized that I was neither male nor female.
You were in the.
I was neither male nor female.
Yeah.
I was just pure energy. I was frightened. And I opened my eyes and said, what is this? Then another fantastic experience that I had is when probably I achieved partial soul realization during the meditation, and my consciousness, my eyes were closed, my consciousness was with every single atom in the room. My consciousness and the consciousness of all the atoms in the room were the same. So then I realized my teacher's teaching that you're not the body, you're not the emotion, you're not the thought, you're the soul, you're the pure spirit.
Do you feel like God or Spirit has ever intervened in your life or helped you?
Yeah, of course. I don't think that I've got into this by accident. It was meant to be, because some people call it a dream, but it's not a dream, because the dream was very vivid. It was early morning. I saw my master, and I said, I was speaking to him. And I said, why is it, master, that I'm in this kind of a work? And he told me that this is your destiny.
This is
Your destiny.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm extremely happy, because now professionally I'm a healer. I'm also a teacher. So God's energy, my master's energy, is continuously with me all day. My master's name is Chokaxi. He's a Chinese by birth, but born in the Philippines. He was an engineer. Professionally, he was an engineer. But at a very young age, he started showing interest in esoteric sciences. So right from I hear from the age of 18 or so, he started delving into esoteric sciences. And until he came up with pranic healing, he did 20 years of research with co-workers of his, and he founded this pranic healing and introduced pranic healing in 1980, somewhere in 1987. And within 20 years, he spread pranic healing to more than 65 countries across the globe. And his job was over as far as he was concerned, from the purpose for which he came. And at the age of 54, on March 19th, 2007, he left his body.
Just recently.
The pardon?
Just recently.
Yeah, just recently. And from what I understand, he's a very senior arhatic yogi, already achieved soul realization, probably achieved God realization before he left.
What are some of his teachings that are most meaningful to you, that have made the biggest impact on you?
Everything. The way he has spiritualized, he made it, for example, some of our Indian spiritual teaching, you need to give up your, you need to be aware. Now, all of us, we are married, we have children, we have a family, we have a job. Now, you can't become an aesthetic, go to the mountain and do spiritual practice. But here's somebody who came out with spiritual practices that appeal to people who lived in the normal world, who could live a normal life, continue living a normal life, and yet practice spirituality and achieve soul realization without leaving your family or your children or you stop your work, nothing. You continue doing what you are doing, at the same time do your spiritual practice and achieve soul realization. He showed it, he is a perfect example of somebody who had a wife, children, who had a business, but at the same time achieved soul realization. So this is something which is very appealing to most people because not everybody is ready to give up what they are doing and go to the mountains to do spiritual practice. You don't need to. You can stay where you are and yet continue with what you're doing and still achieve soul realization. Most grateful for finding my teacher.
And what's your
Because soul realized masters, there are very few, and to have a living soul realized master, I think I'm very lucky. To spread his teachings across the globe. Continue the work that is interested to us. And my innermost desire is that people, soul realization is every human being's birthright. And my desire is that they find a teacher because you need a teacher to do it. And you need a teacher who has gone through the path because it's a very difficult path. And you need somebody who has been through it to guide you through it. So people should look until they find a teacher where they can achieve soul realization. I would want people to know that yes, you continue with your what you are doing, yet seek and find a teacher to achieve soul realization. Like I said, soul realization is your birthright. You need to do it, whether this life or 100 lives later, but why not do it now? Why wait for tomorrow? My faith was, like I explained to you earlier, my faith was tested when at a very young age I had the desire to seek God and I couldn't find God. And that was the time that my faith was tested and I gave up everything. I gave up seeking God. I went to a path which was opposite where people had just had fun chasing women and all those kind of things. And, because I was disillusioned until I found my master again. So, yeah, this shook my faith because I went like people tell you go to temple, you go to church and you find God. Couldn't find God. God is not there until you realize God is within you. You needed a master to explain it to you that God is leading you. You don't have to look elsewhere.
I got the impression from the discussions that you had with Maha that you still communicate with your master. And what is he teaching now? What is his message? Has it changed since he's left his body?
No, it's not changed. It's become stronger. The connection has become stronger. The connection while he was in his body, we met him only maybe twice a year because he was so busy, or maybe 3 times in a year. But now you're constantly meeting him. He's constantly with you.
What has he shared with you most recently?
My profession is healing, so I keep getting intuitive messages from him for certain healing that I do. And of course, his energy is there always with me. But my profession is healing, and when I'm healing, his power, his energy is with me. It's constantly with me.
Thank you very much.
Namaste.